Hi en leuk dat jullie kijken. Vandaag zijn we bij MP Motorsports, een Nederlands raceteam dat actief is in de Formule 2, 3 en 4. Vandaag is hier ook het Formule 1 2019 preview evenement en we krijgen Gaming Director Lee Matters te spreken. Voordat we verder gaan, doe een duimpje omhoog en vergeet je niet te abonneren op ons kanaal.
We've always wanted to try and get the game out earlier in the year because we know that the fans are obviously engaged in the sport, they're watching the sport, and the first thing they want to do after watching a race is jump on the game. So now getting out earlier in the year, they get to experience the 2019 season alongside more of the 2019 season.
Also Formula 2 is coming to the game. What is the difference compared to the F1 cars? We know the downforce, but in the career mode, what's making it that special?
Yeah, so the inclusion of the Formula 2 has given us the chance to build a bit of a driver journey. So you get a bit of a narrative before you enter Formula 1. So you race against a couple of characters who are included in the game. One who's a bit more of an antagonist, one who's a more friendly rival. And you'll take part in 3 events. And in those events, you'll obviously move from Formula 2 into Formula 1 at the end of it. And the outcome of those events will determine, firstly, how you're sort of respected by the press, how you're asked questions by the press, but also your relationship and your reputation with the teams. So it'll depend on the level of contract you can get with the teams in Formula 1 as well.
Can you drive the Formula 2 cars in multiplayer?
So at launch, the Formula 2 cars won't be enabled in multiplayer, but post-launch we're going to enable Formula 2 cars in multiplayer, as well as adding in the 2019 Formula 2 season as well. Yeah, so this year we did a lot of work on the visuals as well as on the handling and the physics side of things. So from a physics perspective, obviously we've had to build F2 cars this year, so there's a big difference there in the way they behave. So different time model for the Formula 2 cars, obviously the way that they're a heavier car, they've got less power, they've got less downforce, they've got more, less narrower tyre. So obviously the difference in the handling is very pronounced, so you can really feel the difference between the Formula 2 and the Formula 1. The Formula 1 cars this year as well, there was changes to the rules, so the front wing has now got less complicated elements, so that's something we've replicated in the handling of the F1 cars. And then from a visual perspective, we've done a lot of work on the night lighting, so there's more night races now, there's obviously evening races with the sun setting, so we wanted to really do those justice. And the drivers had often said, the way that you light the night races isn't as realistic as it could be. And that actually when they're racing on track, it's almost like daylight because the lights are so blanketly lighting the track. So, we've done a lot of work on that. So visually you can see a real step up in how the game looks in evening and night races.
Oh, that sounds good. And if I think about damage, is that improved visually as well then?
So again, as with every year, we always try and tweak those things to try and get the best out of it. So we look at what people liked and didn't like last year, and we try and rebalance those areas to try and make sure that if you're playing with simulation damage, you get that delicate Formula 1 car that you expect, and then as you sort of wind that back, there's less damage. Obviously tyre wear, again, we've recalibrated that to suit what we're seeing of the season this year.
Ik heb net voor het eerst de Formule 1 2019 game gespeeld met de Formule 2 auto's. Dit rijdt echt heel erg anders als de Formule 1 auto's. Natuurlijk, we hebben minder aerodynamica, mis 2 versnellingen, maar het rijdt echt een stuk lastiger en het is heel erg wennen. En je wordt hier zeker online een betere coureur van. Later dit jaar kunnen we ook met de Formule 2 auto's online gerijden, want dat wordt verwerkt in een update. Ook is het league racen verwerkt in Formule 1 2019. Eerst moesten we altijd via internet allemaal verschillende forums opzoeken om een league te vinden waarin te racen. Maar nu is het in de game verwerkt en is het allemaal een stuk makkelijker voor de gemiddelde racer. Wil je aan e-sports mee gaan doen? Dat maken ze ook heel erg makkelijk hier. Je kan je zo aanmelden via de multiplayer sheet. Kwalificeer je door de weeks en kijk of je aan het eind van de week aan de race mee mag doen. De custom liveries kun je verdienen door hoog in de punten te rijden in multiplayer wedstrijden. En dat zijn toch wel een paar hele grote stappen die ze dit jaar gemaakt hebben. Nog een klein maandje wachten en dan is de game uit en dan kunnen we met z'n allen gaan spelen. Dank jullie wel voor het kijken en tot de volgende keer.